Good evening and welcome to the Fallout Bar, the first one of the 2026 match play on the end of day three. A busy weekend for us at Online Darts HQ. So we've had to miss the first couple of days between the cricket, the football, few boys at the darts, and also a special birthday celebration. And on that note, a belated happy birthday to my fellow pundit this evening. Dan, good evening. How are you? Enjoying the match play so far?
Oh, I am, mate. One of my favourite tournaments on the calendar, this one. It's good to have major season back. It feels like the first kind of 6 months of the year is quite slow on the darts calendar. So we're at the business end now, leading our way into December. I love it.
Definitely. And it feels like, as you say, everything ramps up towards Blackpool. And then from here, it's just all 100 miles an hour. And we thought, seeing as it's our first Fallout Bar of this year's match play, we'd quickly look back. We'd pick a game from each session. We'd look back over what's happened, look at what happened this evening, and then look forward to tomorrow night as the second round starts. So we had a chat offline on Saturday evening. Couple of games we could have picked, but there were wins for Rock, Bunting, and of course the world number one Luke Littler. But Dan, we've decided to look at Nathan Aspinall's performance in his 10-5 victory against Joe Cullen. 105 average, as in obviously been a bit of a frustrating year for the Asp, maybe not making it to the Premier League, and then obviously his mind being on the upcoming wedding and what have you. But if you want to make a statement at Blackpool, this was pretty much it.
Yeah, it was good to see. I mean, he's been quite public and open. There's obviously struggles away from the board, and I think I speak for everyone. Everyone loves the Asp. We wish him nothing but the best for that. But I was a little bit concerned. We haven't seen him play that much. We're not sure what type of form he's carrying into the tournament. And if you want to find a way to put the concerns to bed, that's the way to do it. He was amazing. I just hope it can continue, because if he can keep them 105 averages up, he's going to be a handful for anyone.
Well, yeah, that's it, isn't it? And only finishing with 47% on his double, but shows then that the scoring's there, 9 180s, 7 140s, as an all-round performance against a friend, obviously, because Joe Cullen was with him on his stag doing Ibiza last month, I think it was, during the World Cup of Darts. So it's obviously, I guess it's tough playing against a mate, but maybe sometimes that's what you need just to really ramp up your game and put in that blistering performance.
There might have just been that element of familiarity where it's like, you're playing a friend. The professional darts players playing for lots of money, everything matters, but a little bit pressure off the shoulders. But I mean, look, you can only beat who you get drawn against. And if you go out and Joe Cullen got beat 10-5. He didn't really do anything wrong at the end of the day. So promising signs. We need to see more before we start pitching him for winning the trophy. But if he continues to play like that, he's going to be within a shout. But there are a couple others that we need to touch on.
Of course, I will just say though, out of all the Target shirts the new shirts we saw, the Asp was my favourite. I did quite like the design on the front of his shirt. Not that I would buy it, because I don't know where I'd wear it, but if I was to buy one, I'd be giving my money to Team Aspinall. So then, if we move forward then to Saturday afternoon double session on Sunday. Sorry, not Saturday. Double session on the Sunday, which was yesterday, losing track of days already. In the afternoon, we saw our first seeds drop out with Dirk van Duivenbode defeating Chris Dobien in extra time. Michael van Gerwen beating Gilding as well, and Clayton coming through a tricky test against Damon Hetta. But there was only one man we could mention from the afternoon session. And if we thought Aspinall's 105 was special, Gary Anderson's just shy of 110 was sublime. And you've almost got to feel sorry for Ryan Joyce, because again, he's averaged over 95. He's missed a few darts at a double, but he was just blown away.
I mean, he's put in a Ryan Joyce performance, hasn't he? It's kind of where you're expecting to be. But Gary is just aging like a fine wine. I mean, 110. The funny thing is with Gary, he's probably barely picked up a dart for the last 3 or 4 months. And somehow that 110 average on the big stage, it's just in there. You just want to see him keep going, because if Anderson can do that, we've obviously had part of the draw open up tonight. I'm not sure exactly what side of the draw he's on, but he can go very, very deep in this tournament if he can maintain that.
Yeah, well, he is on the same side as a certain Mr. Littler, but I don't think they'd meet until the semi-final should their paths cross. So that could make a very, very tasty semi-final if that should happen. Obviously, there's a lot of darts to play before then, but certainly if you've got Gary Anderson throwing 110 averages, then everything is okay in the darting world. I just realised I didn't say good evening to everybody in the chat room. Good evening, all. It's great being back. And as Sean said it, thank God that the Fallout Bar is back. Don't forget, get involved, give us your thoughts. Gordon, wishing you, Dan, a happy birthday, and also giving a big shout out to Ando. I know Gordon is a big fan of the Scottish darts up there. Ooh, quite high up. Am I right in thinking Aberdeen with somewhere, Gordon? But great having you in. And Rowan, if the Aspinall beats Littler tomorrow, I would be so happy. I think a lot of people would be happy if the Aspinall won, as in I'm sure a lot of Littler fans would be unhappy, but that we'll get on to predictions in a bit. Then a quick recap of last night's action. And I'm probably the toughest one to pick a standout performance, because I think there's a few in the shout. But anyway, Ryan Searle defeating Willie O'Connor, James Wade doing James Wade thing in a 10-7 win against Watamina, Jan van Veen defeating the Polish Eagle, and then the game we've chosen, the last game of the evening in Vessel Nyman against Chisnell. I say only a 98 average, but I guess when you've been discussing 105 and 109, then 98 is a bit measly. But a 10-5 win against Chisnell, and I know Chisnell may not be the player he was a few years ago, but 52% on the checkouts, plenty of 10+ scoring, as in it's a game you just want to win in the first round of Matchplay, isn't it?
Yeah, you just want to get through the first round, and I think everyone who follows darts closely were waiting for that breakout major tournament, consistent major performances, because we see it on the floor nearly every week. There's a player there. I just think it probably hasn't shown itself on the TV stage yet. The Matchplay is a very difficult tournament to do it. You're not getting any easy runs to a quarters or a semi. Every game's difficult, but we know he has the talent. We know it's probably going to be one tournament, and then every tournament after that, all of a sudden he's in with a shout. He just needs to break the duck. And look, if you draw Chizzy, and you've still got to go out there and beat him. And he did that at a canter.
That's exactly it, isn't it? And I think we've seen it a few seasons now where somebody's done well on the floor and it's taken them a bit of time to find it on the stage. But Nyman's becoming a very difficult player to beat. I think when you're a difficult player to beat, you find yourself making quarters, making semis, going deep in these tournaments. And obviously, without giving too much away of what's happened this evening, that side of the draw has opened up slightly with a certain high-seeded player going out. But Nyman into the second round. And that's a whistle-stop tour of the first 3 sessions. So now let's sort of catch up with time, and we'll, as we do always on the Fallout Bar, we'll go through the games in order that they were played. But Bobsy's got an interesting point here. Maybe Bobsy 25, no debutant, could get past the first match. And I think that's something you often see in Blackpool, because as Dan just said, it's a tough field to get into, let alone win matches. So it probably does take a bit of time, because some would say it's the best venue. A lot would say it's in the top 2 venues for PDC darts. So it's it's a cathedral or cauldron, whatever you want to call it. It's not an easy stage to win on, but yeah, getting that first win, who knows from there, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think Luke Littler's give us all a false perception of what debutants can do in darts. He's brought the mould, and he is the exception, not the rule. You know, you
No,
go out
exactly.
there,
Yeah.
you start winning on the floor, you make a couple of quarterfinals, a few semi-finals, get your prize money, get nicer draws because you're moving up the rankings, and then you have your first breakout moment. And I think that's where we're approaching that moment. As I say, I don't know if it'll be the match play, because you're not getting any nice runs in the match play. It's a horrible tournament. As I say, no one wins the match play easily, but he knows how to win darts matches at the end of the day, and you can't put a price on it. If he can do that, he'll go far.
Exactly right. First match this evening, Ross Smith against Kevin Doets. If you look at the stats, you probably wouldn't believe it was 10-6 to Ross Smith, because Doets averaged 104, Smith averaged 100, but the damage was done in this one in that first session. Ross Smith 5-0 up, and from there, I guess it's just a case of hold your throw and you win comfortably.
Yeah, I mean, look, absolute sleeper match of the night, by the way. This was a thoroughly enjoyable watch. I just wish Kevin Doets could play like that when he's in a match and not wait to be out the match. I don't know, it's almost like the shoulders drop and then all of a sudden big checkouts are going in. But quite commonly in a darts match, it's who's going to win the legs when neither's playing at the best. And Ross Smith did that, got the gap, and you're going to have to do something pretty special in the first of 10 if you're 5 down. You're up against it.
Oh, definitely. And I think, I don't know if you caught Ross Smith's interview after the game, but I found it interesting. He said he was playing well and things were going well. And it feels like a performance like this almost not only backs you up, but makes everyone believe, oh, actually, this is a statement win. Because when this draw comes out, I don't think you make it 10-6 either way. I think you're expecting a much closer game, and it wouldn't have surprised me a few of the bookmakers not splitting them, and even one or two making a Doets favourite. So it's interesting how comfortable Smith made it look, and again, Bobsy with the facts, as in Doets was only getting used to the stage during the first 5 legs, and it goes back to what you were saying. There's no easy games in the match play. You haven't got time to settle. You've got to hit that ground running, or you're 5-0 down, and you're chasing, well, almost an impossible task.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, look, Smith, he played well. I think we've seen him play better, but he just never looked flustered. And so if you're giving the experienced man a 5-leg start at the end of the day, look, he took the legs. I mean, there was a brilliant 160 in there. It wasn't just he was winning scrappy, horrible legs and everyone was missing doubles. He played well to win them legs. I don't want to make it sound like he was lucky in any way or he was gifted them, but look, he got the lead and experience prevailed. He managed to hold out the lead no matter what his opponent was throwing back at him.
I think what he did well as well was every time you thought the comeback was on, he'd win a leg. He never let his opponent come within one. He always kept him at an arm's length, and from 6-4 it goes to 9-4, and then although it's 9-6, just shut down any chance of a big comeback. And it was a solid all-round performance from Smith, and he'll hope now that this carries him on in the next round as he looks to go deep in the tournament. And as for Doets, I think we'll see him back on Blackpool. He's a quality player. I think a bit like Nyman, it's a matter of when, not if he clicks. And I think when he clicks, we'll be seeing similar from him. He'll be winning tournament after tournament and climbing the rankings.
Yeah, I mean, when he's on, he's spectacular to watch. It's just we need them patches to become a bit longer and a bit more frequent. But pretty confident if he can figure that out. We all know there's a player in there. It's just, as I say, doing it on the big stage is different to doing it on the floor, and then you've got to be able to repeat it.
Oh, 100%, 100%. The second game of the night, so Old MacDonald, darts player turned farmer, Gerwyn Price, taking on Schindler. Price winning 11-9. Is it a result? Is it a game that Schindler will look back on and think, I had him here by the short and curly? Should I have got the job done?
1000%. I mean, coming into this one, this was the one you looked at. You know, Gezi likes to do everything but play darts by the looks of it on social media at the moment. And, you know, this was the one where you thought might not go with the seed. Schindler gets 4-0 up, and look, there was improvement from Price. He definitely upped his game, but I think that Schindler will kick himself. He couldn't close that match out, and he probably should have in reality. He just couldn't get that over the line, and I think that's one that will hurt on his flight back to Germany.
Oh, definitely, because I say he was 4-0, 6-2, 8-5 up, and
we've seen Price play better. Like, he played well, but it wasn't like the Premier League where he's averaging like 110 and just hitting everything. He upped it, but he didn't go as good as Go. If you could play a Gerwyn Price in the first round of a tournament and that's how he's going to play, you would take that every day of the week. Like, it's the best opportunity you can get to beat him.
Oh, 100%. Just shy of 94 on his averages, as in, you don't often see him average 94 on a big stage. So as you say, you've got to take those chances when they come in, and obviously from a Price perspective, I guess, yes, it's a victory, but he knows he can't let his opponents in the next round have a 4-0 lead, or there is a good shot. Well, yeah, he's not to give too much away. He's playing Rob Cross in the next round. You can't give Rob Cross a 4-0 victory, or look what happened this evening in that game. So, yeah, he'll definitely be hoping for a faster start in the next round.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I feel like with Price, I never really know what I'm going to get at the moment. And in recent form, I tend to go more towards the negative side. Then he's going to play really well. So I think the win will do him a world of good, but there's definitely concerns there that need addressing with his form. You know, playing poorly and winning is great, but if you keep playing poorly, you're not going to get away with that at this tournament.
No, and I think it's probably a lack of match practice, as in he's doesn't feel like we've seen much of him. He's sort of been pulling out of tournaments, not traveling across to Europe. He's played a few of the floor tours recently, but it's one thing winning 3 games on the floor. It's another thing playing in Blackpool, Winter Gardens, thousands of people behind you cheering you, and also an opponent in Schindler who can win on the big stage. It's not like he's not done it, but yeah, obviously Price probably turned around on Wednesday and check 115 average, and we'll be questioning why we ever doubted his abilities.
Absolutely, he's got it in the locker. I think that's the most frustrating thing with Gerwyn Price. We know it's there, but because of what he gets away with, gets up to off the board, there's just always that built-in excuse when it doesn't happen. You know, is he practicing enough? Is he putting the time in? Does he want it? And them questions will always pop up.
Well, yeah, because I don't know if you saw on his social media, he was moving sheep earlier in the week, and that is not an easy task, and I don't think I'd be doing that a few days before a massive major darts tournament. But he's fitter and healthier than me, so that probably does go in his favour as well. But as for Schindler, we've said it's a missed opportunity, as in he's sort of in and around 19-20 in the world at the moment. Has he got the game to make it to the top 16, or are we sort of seeing his levels here, and maybe he'll be one of those who's sort of knocking on the door, but probably not quite climbing through it?
I mean, I think the problem is like the game to get in the top 16, the top 50 in the world probably have. It's just, does he have it between the ears? And I haven't seen enough to be convinced he does at the
Yeah.
moment. Now, look, that can change. You know, I mean, the beautiful thing about darts is you get some players that peak 45, 50. It's a really unique sport. Like, look at Peter Wright. He didn't start winning world championships till very late in his career. But I haven't seen anything that would make me confident seeing it live that, yes, Schindler will break in. He's got the game, but as I said, anyone in the top 40 does really. And it's about that mentality that I'm not 100% convinced with.
And I think that shows the brutal side of darts as well, as that 40 players could make it to the top 16, but it's that top 2%. And when you see what some of these players do, I guess that just makes it look even better. Third game of the evening, and I would have imagined, had you asked 100 people what they think the score, or who would win this game, not just the score, who would win this game, I think you'd struggle to meet anybody maybe who's not related to Menzies who wouldn't have said Luke Humphries to win this game. And how wrong were we all? Cameron Menzies with a mentally strong performance, I think is a fair way of putting it, getting over the line 10-7. And I had my concerns at 8-3, especially when it got to 8-7, that we were going to see Cameron throw it away like we've seen on stages before. But credit where it's due, he held throw in the 16th leg, and then he managed to win the game against the Darts with 170 outshot. Here, fishy to win it. That's special in itself. But Dan, for a way to knock out the world number 2, hats off to Cameron Menzies. I think that was an outstanding performance, and he deserves all the credit he gets.
Unbelievable. I mean, Humphries wasn't at his best, but this wasn't Luke Humphries playing bad by any means. Menzies was brilliant, particularly at the end of legs. You know, was it a 1-2-9, 1-2-6 where he went double right at the end of the first session? And we always have questions about the mentality of Menzies. A lot of that's through his own actions and own doing. You know, that there's a reason them questions are there. But absolutely phenomenal. Take me hat off. Done it on a 170. I don't know what was. Just fair play. It was unbelievable. And Humphries, he'll go away from that. He definitely wasn't his best, but I think if you told Humphries that you'll go out and average this, he'd probably still have expected to beat Menzies. And to be honest, I think 10-7 flattered Luke Humphries. If Menzies was unbelievable, phenomenal performance.
Definitely, and I think if Menzies wasn't playing the world number 2 from 8-3 up, he probably wins 10-3, 11-3, 11-4. Obviously, Humphries is that caliber of player that he can get himself back into games, and at 8-7, he was probably fancying getting the job done. As in, bizarrely, 12 out of the 17 legs went against throw. Humphries only
was
held...
it the 8th or 9th leg we got there when there was the first hold? It was a strange goal.
8th leg, and he held the darts to go 5-3 up. Humphries only held his darts twice in that game out of 9 attempts. As in, as good a player as Humphries is, you're not winning many matches if you're broken seven times. I don't care who you're playing. But yeah, Humphries averaged 100, wonderful 167 from him as well. But I think 7 out of 23 on the doubles. That's what ultimately cost him there. But he'll be... will he be concerned? As in, or is it just a Menzies performance to salute?
I think we know Luke's a hard worker. He'll go away and work on his game. He's obviously had some good form in New York, etc. I think he'll be annoyed and frustrated. I don't think concerned. I think he obviously had a dip in form kind of at the back end, kind of middle of the Premier League, and then it seems like he's found that form again. I think this is just a blip more than anything else. So I don't think we're quite a concern yet, but I think he'll be a little bit annoyed. He'll have fancied a good run at the major, and to go out round one when you haven't really given it your best. It's got to sting a little bit when you're someone the caliber of Luke Humphries.
Yeah, that's it, and I think that's it, isn't it? It's not. He hasn't played badly and lost. He's just come up against a fired up Menzies who just seemed in the zone. As in, yes, emotion got the better of him at the end, but I think that's what it means to him. He does wear his heart on his sleeve. He does give it everything, and he just wants to win. And yeah, I think sometimes you've just got to take your hat off to your opponent and say that you lost the better player. And I think that's exactly what we saw there tonight. But I think for Menzies now, what he's got to do is back that up in the next round. We don't want to see a whimper of an 83 average and lose 10-2 or 11-2, whatever. He's got to come back and back it up in the next round.
100%. I think with Menzies, it just depends what side of bed he gets out on the day. It's incredible, but it's there. It's a bit like Schindler. We know it's there, but how are we going to see it 8 times out of 10, 9 times out of 10? That's the difference.
Oh, definitely, and yeah, I think in the next round, I think he's got Ross Smith. So not an easy game, but if you're looking at the seeds,
you'd take it at the match play though, round 2, wouldn't? Like, I mean, there's no easy games, but there's certainly scarier games out there.
100%, and I think I think that's how he's got to approach it. Really, is just to think it could have been worse. As in, he's beaten the world number 2. There's nothing to there's nothing for him to fear. And I don't know what if you felt the same, but he looked maybe a different player on stage tonight to maybe what we saw at the World Championships. And I'm not talking about the end now, but during the game, he just seemed like things were better. He was in a better position, and
he just seemed quite put together. He's looking a bit healthier. He looks like he's lost a bit of weight. He looks like he's had a fresh trim. He's taking care of himself. He just looked all together as a package, a better version of himself than we've seen.
Yeah, and obviously that's what you want, isn't it? You want to see players looking after themselves and being able to perform at the best of their ability, and that's certainly what we got from him this evening. The final game of the night. You wait 15 games to see a second seed fall out, and a bit like London Buses, to fall after each other, as Noppert went down 10-3 to Rob Cross. And once again, a bit like the Ross Smith game, the damage was done really in the first 5 legs. Cross racing into a 5-0 lead, and Noppert uncharacteristically poor for him in recent times.
Yeah, I thought Noppert disappointing compared to kind of the standard we've come to expect from Danny Noppert. I thought Cross, particularly in the first 5, was outstanding. Absolutely. Was he 5 for 5 going into break? I know he was definitely 4 for 4 because he took the 1-8 out on the ball. But it just seems like that completely knocked the stuffing out of Danny Noppert, and he didn't really fancy the fight back. He didn't think he'd be able to do it. I mean, look, Cross, you've got to take your hats off. He was the one that done the damage. When your opponent's playing poorly, that's the time to capitalise. But I was a little, I did expect maybe a little bit more of a fight back from Noppert. There were kind of little flashes towards the end, but the game was done by then.
Yeah, I think what sort of almost not ended it, obviously, but when Noppert threatened that second session, he got it back to 5-2, and you're thinking, if he can win 4 of these 5 legs, go into the second break at 6-4, we've got a game in our hands. But then Cross reeled 3 off to make it 8-2, and you just know again it's a matter of when, not if. And Noppert had thrown the towel in, and Cross didn't sort of let him give him a chance to make a game of it, really. And Cross 97 average, 10 out of 18, on the doubles. And as all-round performances go, I think, Cross would be happy with that. still in the run with the match play and playing like that. Who knows?
I mean, I think he could have averaged a bit more. We just never really had much coming back at him to keep him on his toes. You know, we've seen him come out and set the light with a 110. He started laying up on the 170. Once he got that lead, it was just a very professional, safe. There was no risks. We don't need to get too high. We're not going to get low. We're just going to navigate this to the finishing line and get into round 2.
Well, exactly. And sort of based on what we saw from Cross and Price tonight, Cross will probably fancy his chances of going even further and make it to the second half of the week at Matchplay. But we'll discuss that in greater detail tomorrow night, because now it's time for us to look forward to what's happening tomorrow night. Yes, indeed, it is prediction time. This is where we all put our darting knowledge to the test and our expertise on who we think is going to win and by what scoreline. So from what I can tell, round 2 is best of 21. So it's first to 11. I know I've confused myself a bit tonight, so I know where I am now. First to 21. So if you want to get involved, don't forget, get your comments in. If you're not subscribing to the channel, hit the like button so you get to hear and find out whenever we go live, what's happening, who's live, where we're live, what we're talking about. But yeah, first game tomorrow night is it's very much a head over heart for me in this one, as Johnny Clayton takes on Gary Anderson. 2 players who are in the finer years of their darting career, as in like fine wines, I think is what you Dan described Anderson as earlier. They're both playing some spectacular darts. Obviously, Gary Anderson, highest average of the first round with 109.66. I don't think Gary gets it as
I
don't think Gary gets it as easy as he does in the first round. So I think, and this is no disrespect to Joyce, I just think Clayton will offer more back. Do I? Oh, yes, I'm Welsh. I can't not back the ferret. I think it goes deeper. I think it's a long game. I don't think it'll be early tomorrow night if you're planning on joining us at the Fallout Bar. I think Clayton wins this one 11-9.
You know what? It's a really tricky one, this, because I think I have an idea of what I'm going to get from Johnny Clayton. Gary Anderson, I have no idea. However, I am going to pick with the heart and just pretend we have championship Gary Anderson back. Still think it'll be close, but I think it'll be 11-8 to the Flying Scotsman.
11-9 and 11-8 to opposite players here, and I'd imagine that's what the chat room would be looking like as well. Paddy first in, 11-9 to Clayton. Unsurprisingly, Gordon has gone for his fellow countryman to win 11-7. Bobsy 25, 11-8 Clayton. Where are we going next? Mirda 180, 11-8 Johnny. K with 11-8 Anderson. Spoonie 11-4 Anderson. I'd imagine, Spoonie, you're expecting an Anderson of Saturday performance again, and Clayton not being able to keep up with him. But as expected, as with us, the chat room quite split on that one. Next up is the Battle of the Dutchmen, as Michael van Gerwen takes on Dirk van Duivenbode. Dan, I'll come to you first this time, if you don't mind. How do you think this one's going to go?
I absolutely hate predicting Michael van Gerwen games, because we like to pretend we know a little bit of what we're talking about on this show. We don't, and we're always wrong, and Michael van Gerwen is commonly the culprit. I'm gonna say Michael Van Gerwen to win 11-6. Why not? Let's pick with a head, pick with a heart this evening.
Yeah, I think I'm with you. I think bizarrely, I think Van Gerwen's the most consistent at the moment of these two players, which is a crazy thing to say because he's consistently inconsistent. But I
I mean,
don't know.
this could be anything really. Like this
Yeah,
could be amazing. It could be fireworks. It could be dreadful. We don't know.
no, we don't. But I just feel like there's moments in his matches where, and I'm not saying he's back to peak MVG at all, but there's moments in matches he switches on and you're thinking, right, this is it. This
There's
is
a
where he
little bit
kicks
of
on
magic
from.
still there. Like it
Yeah.
gives you a glimpse.
And if you can't get up for playing against your fellow countrymen for a place in a quarter-final, then I don't know when you can get up, really. I think I'll give Dirk one more. So I'll go 11-7 MVG, but it could be anything. Yeah, I'm saying 11-7, but not with great confidence. More with hope, I think. Right, back to the chat room. I did see that John got one in for the first game a bit just as we moved on. But so John's gone 11-7 Anderson. So if we move on now to the second game, Gordon first in, MVG to win 11-8. Spoony thinking it's even closer at 11-9 MVG. John 11-5 MVG. Paddy with you, Dan at 11-6 MVGK. With me at 11-7 MVG. Bobsy 25 saying MVG 11-6 and Callum 11-8 to
MVG clean sweep.
MVG clean sweep. So we sit here
Get
now
your money on
knowing
Dirk,
for a
folks.
fact
That's what that means.
Dirk wins 11-4 or something crazy like that. If that game was one-sided, the third match tomorrow night, world number one, Luke Littler taking on the inspired Nathan Aspinall. I'll go first this time because I'm if Aspinall averages 105 again, can he beat Luke Littler? That's the question.
He could certainly lose average in that.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. And unfortunately, because I know they're such good friends, I can't see the Aspinall doing that against Littler, even though we did it against another friend in Joe Cullen. There's just this. Well,
I think for
Littler
some
effect,
reason Aspinall brings out the best in Littler. It's like an exhibition, and he just goes wild. Like
yeah, because Aspinall hits 105, Littler hits 112, and we're like, how the hell has he lost 11-0 with 105 average? But how many do I give him? Littler wins 11-5. I can't see Aspinall hitting 105. I hope I'm wrong.
I'm going to go 11 years. I think it's going to be very close. Aspinall maybe takes a bit of a lead. Luke pegs him back and then just puts a little sprint onto the finish line when it's rather tight.
I would be more than happy if that's what happened. As in, I'd love it to go deep, and I'd even love an Aspinall win, but it's not quite there at the moment, I don't think. Right, Gordon in first in the chat room again. 11-6 to the Nuke. Spoony 11-7 Littler. Paddy 11-9 Littler. A lot of people thinking it's going deep here. K 11-6 Littler. Bobsy with the brave and outrageous. Aspinall wins after sudden death leg. Well, if that happens, Bobsy, then folks, get your camping gear out. We won't be on
The
till 2 in the
tournament's
morning.
wide open if that happens.
And well, if you lose the top two seeds on consecutive nights, you'll have whatever 24 players. No, can't count. 8 and 4, 12 players will be very excited come the end of tomorrow night. John Littler 11-4 with a caveat of fancying a 9 from Luke tomorrow, as in, hey, who doesn't love a 9-darter? We've had plenty of big fishes this week. I say plenty. We've had a big fish this week. Let's get a 9-darter for the mix as well. And Callum rounding off almost a clean sweep for Luke Littler, winning 11-6. I find it hilarious that MVG got a clean sweep. Luke Littler didn't. Yeah, that's why we love the darts. That's why we're here. Last game of the evening, and it's a Premier League playoff between Josh Rock and Stephen Bunting. Dan, how do you see this one going?
I mean, I need to kind of erase Premier League Josh Rock from memory because he's usually a different beast at these tournaments. So I'm going to say Premier League Josh Rock isn't a thing, and he's going to beat Stephen Bunting 11-7.
You're going Rock 11-7. I've got a feeling that the fact Bunting came through the way he did the other night in last leg shootout, whilst Rock had it a bit easier against Woodhouse. I fancy Bunting to sort of grind out a win. I think there'll be plenty of 180s, but I can't see 100 averages. I think it'll be the 93 to 97 bracket, which isn't bad, obviously, but
you still have great games with 95 averages as long as it's evenly matched.
Yeah, I've just got that feeling it's going to be one of those ding-dong battles, and Bunting wins 11-9.
Oh, I hope it's going to be a right late night if you're right. Yeah.
I should have said 4-11 nails again, hope for the best, but why would we do that to ourselves? Right, and for the final time this evening, back to the chat room. I'd imagine this might be split a bit like the Clayton-Anderson game. Gordon in first, Bunting to win 11-7. Kay going the other way, Rocky to win 11-9. Spoonie really wanting a bit of extra time tomorrow night. Rock to win 14-12. Paddy, Rock to win 11-7. As the same as Bobsy, 11-7. Very, very heavily Rock heavy. John as well going for Rock, 11-8. And then Callum last in, Bunting in sudden death. And, well, that brings an end to the first Fallout bar of this year. Dan, if the predictions come in as we expect, it will be a late one. For this evening, thank you very much for your company.
No worries, mate. Thank you very much for having me.
You back on tomorrow night?
Probably. I'll be around as long as it doesn't go on too late with the 11 nights. I might not off, but I'll try to be available.
I think we're all praying for that. Let's see how early we can get on tomorrow night. Thank you to everybody in the chat room for getting involved. Without you, this show doesn't work. It's been an absolute pleasure. And yeah, until tomorrow night, enjoy the darts. Keep throwing them straight. Good night.
Night, everyone.